Thank you to our sponsors at HelloFresh for making our New Year's resolutions a bit easier. Whether your resolution is to eat healthier with their delicious foods fresh from the farm straight to your mouth, or to cook a little bit more and have some quality family time.
Daddy's boy wants some cream, Daddy's sweet boy.
Daddy's sweet boy may have the cream. HelloFresh has you covered with easy steps, all printed on wonderful little labels. Easy to follow instructions, easy cleanup, with delicious fresh food all pre-portioned to help you eliminate food waste.
Thank you, Daddy, for the cream.
You're welcome, my child.
It's me, Daddy's boy. I talk like this.
Yes. You become a strong boy from eating the cream.
I'm Daddy's boy.
I don't know what this is becoming.
Ooh, Daddy.
And if your resolution is to eat a healthy breakfast every morning, well, then HelloFresh has you covered. Use the code BENTOFREE at checkout to get a delicious breakfast item with every box, so long as you're subscribed. That's BENTOFREE at checkout for free breakfast for life! This has gone horribly wrong all of a sudden. I said it during the video, just get a regular goddamn spatula. I mean it. They also have desserts!
This did not work out as planned.
I feel you judging me.
Was the bit worth it?
Honestly, it was a good muffin.
I didn't ask if the muffin was worth it, I asked if the bit was worth it.
Thank you. So thank you again to HelloFresh. Use the code BENTOFREE to get free breakfast for life, so long as you're subscribed to HelloFresh. Link below, QR code, food. It's actually pretty good. Pretty good cream. If you want some of your grown boy, you eat the cream. Happy New Year and welcome to hell.
It's 2024, and you know what that means?
It's an election year.
Kill me.
But first, just to take some mental fortitude and pull the Band-Aid off just real quick, just rip that shit right off, we decided to subject ourselves to some live-action anime. So much live-action anime adaptation.
I'm sorry.
So much.
Is watching a bunch of live-action anime adaptations mental fortitude or mental illness?
It's a little bit of both. Admittedly, some of these actually better than I thought, and some of these actually better than I remember.
Yeah.
Going back and rewatching some of these and watching some of these for the first time, sometimes you find a gem. Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you want to die.
Sometimes, a lot of the times, Anyway, we got a few categories here to rank them in, including real life was a mistake, which hard to disagree with sometimes. Then just bad.
Just bad.
Just bad. Whatever. Good for live action. That one actually might be a little more crowded than we think.
Yeah.
Actually great, which that might actually get one or two in there. And then the rarest of all gems, better than the anime.
Which honestly, I already know the one that I'm gonna put in there. I already have one that I've seen on the list, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I know one.
For me, there are a couple that actually might quantify for that. So we'll see. We might have a disagreement here and there, but you know what? This is a compromise. We work together to make this list for you, because it's a definitive list. And if you disagree with us, I mean,
you're wrong. Objectively,
clearly,
you know that.
You're not making a video. What did you?
Wait, hold on. What if one of the other anti-tubers we know actually makes a video on this?
You think they watch our shit?
Oh. Now I'm just waiting for Jeff to message me I watched it.
Yeah, you know what? Prove us wrong in the comments.
Yeah.
Money where your fucking mouth is.
Get down there, tell us what you disagreed with.
And then we'll, I don't know, just leave it there, I guess. And say what you fucking will.
Maybe we'll pin it and be like, hey, respect this person's opinion.
It really depends on how much we're paying attention, which we do.
Actually, yeah, I should not pay as much attention to the comments as I should. Anyway, so.
Let's round this up here and start her off with, admittedly, a banger.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Probably the highest profile one, definitely one of the highest profile, if not the highest profile, just from having Christoph Waltz as one of the primary characters. Like this, directed by Robert Rodriguez. This was
And produced by James Cameron, I think.
one of his this was one of his babies. Like he wanted this for the longest time.
Yeah, honestly, one of the reasons Avatar took so long was because he wanted this to come out.
And honestly,
Yeah.
better than I even originally remember when I watched it.
Now, interestingly, this one's not just based off of a anime, but it's also based off of a manga.
Yeah, because the anime was just like an OVA.
Yeah,
right?
it's basically a highly condensed version of the story that this tells. And I love that anime. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's...
I actually went out and I looked up the OVA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then, it's gorgeous. It's a nice little, it's a nice little story that gets most of the things it needs to across.
And it translates very well to like a live action American movie.
Question, how do you feel about the face and the eyes?
I'm fine. It's a little distracting, but I'm like, as far as making a live action anime character who looks like a legitimate anime character, it's less distracting than you think.
I think the Final Fantasy VII Remake has done a better job at communicating those big, bright eyes than this did. But then again, I love the character models from FF7 Remake way too much.
And that's fine, but I think like the fact that she does have that uncanny, yes, she's a fucking android look to her, or cyborg, compared to everybody else around her, like it does set her apart, it makes her interesting, and I think once you get over the initial visual of it, it's fine.
I would have done it differently myself, but ultimately the movie's still really good. It's sort of interesting because oh my God, the ending is like, hey, by the way, here's the real meat of the story. Bye.
Here's a surprise fourth act for you, just real quick here. Here's the climax and cliffhanger.
Yeah.
That's like the one point that kind of sticks in my craw, because that was what, like 6 years ago, more at
I don't
this
know.
point?
When did we go down to Austin for that pop-up live action event that they did?
Which it honestly doesn't really paint doesn't really skew my vision of this movie too much, but that was a cool thing that we did. I think there's still a video of it on our channel.
There's probably a little bit of a bias. We got invited out to Austin for a really cool event where
a pop-up launch event for it.
Where they basically...
Where we didn't even see the movie, which is the funniest part.
But they basically made up a mock town from like the slums from this movie.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a walkthrough immersive events. Kind of like what is it, Meow Wolf?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
If you want to see that, actually, it's a video on our channel. So
yeah, it was a fun time. I remember watching it in the theater and being kind of like underwhelmed by it, but then going back and rewatching, I'm like, this is legitimately like good action sci-fi.
Yeah, it's good action sci-fi. Got some great effects, some like great casting. I will say the worst part about the movie is the love story. It is not very good. Mostly just because the kid is boring.
It's also very paint by numbers, and you can kind of like, it's one of those you can easily see where the cross points are going to be, like what type of stuff he's into compared to like what kind of stuff she's going through, and where that's going to intersect.
I just thought there was no chemistry between the two of them, and the dialogue was just not very good.
I think it was just like a case of, the manga had a lot longer to pace it out. But for me, considering that like I legitimately enjoy this, I lean better than the anime on this one. But I feel like actually great is probably where it sits.
So the problem I ultimately run into, and this is probably going to be a problem with a lot of these on the list, when it comes to the anime, it's not even a great adaptation of the manga. It is a slightly isolated,
which I haven't seen the manga.
Yeah,
I have not read the manga.
At that point, I think it's better to base it off of the manga, and in which case I can't really tell. What I probably think is that romance was probably better, and also it's kind of that ending. I don't hate the ending, but it also is like, wow, you've just introduced me to this big world and this very important plot line, and now it's gone for 6 years.
The fact that I'm sitting here thinking like, God, I wish we did have a sequel.
Yeah.
I think that means actually great is where it probably sits.
Although they have been talking about actually making that sequel, like there's been more progress on that as of late. So if that does actually happen, fantastic. It's what I've been looking for forever, because I want a sequel to this dang movie.
So better than the anime or actually great? Where are you feeling?
I'm gonna put it in actually great because I don't know if it's better than the original manga, and I do know there's some places that I just tune the fuck out. Like if I rewatch that movie, everything with that kid's gonna fucking just go over my head.
All right,
But,
fair enough. Up next.
Yeah. Now let's fall from atop the top of the wall.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No. This is a steep drop. This is a steep drop.
I'm gonna start with like the one good thing I have to say about it. The Titans look cool.
The Titans do look rather cool. I do have
Specifically the Colossal Titan, like the opening bit with like the Titan invasion. Cool looking. Everything else, and I'm not even a big fan of Attack on Titan. Did not like. They butcher so much of what there is to enjoy about Attack on Titan here.
One of the things that we probably should have said up front, up at the top, but I'll say here, it is impossible to judge these on their own merit when you've seen the original. I know there are a lot of people out there who's like, well, you should be able to judge it on its own merit, but if it wanted to be its own thing,
They wouldn't have adapted a thing.
It should have been its own thing. Because this still tries to adapt a lot of the original story and does a lot of that poorly because it makes weird changes and weird decisions that just kind of take away from a lot of what made that original story work.
Like spoilers for live action Attack on Titan, like swapping Mikasa for Aaron's mom.
Yeah, but then undoing that later, like why would you even bother?
They have her be the big death in the opening to like spur Aaron on to go out and do stuff, and then she just randomly with no fanfare just kind of shows back up.
Yeah. And also, like, and one of the other things that they had to do for this movie, and I'm not really bothered by it, but it did ultimately like lead to some weird casting decisions and changes. This is a Japanese production, and the Japanese movie industry just flat out has less diversity than Hollywood. They did not have the actors to fill this cast out to make them accurate to their manga or anime counterparts.
And I mean, like the anime takes place in kind of a Germanic setting, like like sort of Western Europe.
Yeah, they actually even changed the name of the location, and they've made it post-apocalyptic, like actual post-apocalypse, and not just like visually kind of.
Yeah, they have like actual like vehicles, like jeeps and like actual, you know, post World War II tech.
And we see modern world before everything went wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's
like they got Mad Max in my Attack on Titan.
I should know, Isayama, the mangaka, not only approved these decisions, but made suggestions that made it into the movie. So Isayama, and of course, I think Isayama was just like, okay, I want this to be different from my manga. So
look, I don't just do it, do that too.
Yeah.
God, knowing that makes me want to say Real Life was a mistake, which I'm already tempted to for this one in general, because it might be tied for my least favorite on this list.
So here's the thing. It is very bad, but it is also in a lot of places visually appealing, and it at least...
I don't know if any of the visually appealing stuff is enough to save it.
I don't know. It's bad, but I don't know if it's... There are at least two other productions on here that are worse for me. Two other ones that I can easily say are worse for me.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you'd say bad?
I'd say bad.
Okay. I'll it's got to be at the very bottom of bad.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of bad.
It
is, yeah.
Next up, all you gotta do is drink all your milk.
Fuck. Of course, that's a...
It's the only thing that stuck in my head the first time I watched it. Going back through it, actually pretty good.
It's good. It's got a lot of really good action. That's the one thing I need to give it. Like, I rewatched it too. Its action is, in some places, remarkable. It's even maybe some of the best on this list.
Some of its visual effects are pretty, like, you know, for live action anime adaptations.
2018,
yeah.
Netflix. 2018, Netflix. Honestly, it's kind of a decent retelling of that original arc too.
Yeah, up through Grand Fisher.
Yeah. In that, however, what it does with Chad and Orihime is sad.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, like, unfortunately, by condensing that whole arc into a movie, they are superfluous characters in that arc.
They are, but at the very least, they could have given
them something. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime Ichigo
Goes Soul
Reaper mode. He's outside of his body. Why couldn't Chad and Orihime still see him?
Yeah, because there was one scene where they are kind of all in the same room. He's battling Grand Fisher, and they're basically trying to keep everybody in this McDonald's safe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If Chad is somehow strong enough to block and hold that sign and throw it to the side.
Yeah, what was that like? Poof.
Yeah, cool, sick, awesome, very Chad, total Chad move. However,
he wasn't 7 feet tall, inaccurate.
Yeah, I know, right? But if he's that strong, he should have had the spirit. He should have had the spiritual pressure and wherewithal to see Ichigo and Orihime as well.
I'm leaning the other way. I think it's fine if he can't see it, but he's just really fucking strong. But Orihime should have been able to see him.
Orihime definitely should have been able to. It makes
just based on where her character goes in the anime, which I don't know if they'll ever make any more.
No, I doubt it at this point. This did not exactly blow people away, but I will say, while it's not my favorite on the list, I still actually enjoyed it.
I did too. I really liked it to the point where, for me, I think it's at least better paced than the anime. I don't think the entire thing is better than the anime.
Yeah, I know. I get you. I was gonna say the one thing
just by getting rid of Cone, I'm really psyched about it.
I mean, yeah, Cone sucks. I'm sorry, Cone sucks.
I really like the guy they got for Urahara. I think that was good casting.
Yeah. By the way, I watched the dub. Interesting dub. Kind of like fluctuates on who they got packed.
There's a caveat I can put in here for all of these.
Oh yeah,
I haven't watched. I can't do live action dubs.
Oh.
I just like it's too uncanny valley for me.
For Bleach, I kind of went back and forth because I was curious about some characters. I watched most of it in Japanese.
Yeah, there's only one on here that I saw the dub, but that's because it was only available in dub form.
Oh, I'm curious.
Yeah.
That being said, I think it's good. I think it's fun. But the one thing I genuinely didn't like. Well, Ichigo and Rukia look pretty good at all times. And Orihime and Chad do as well. And I'll even give it to Uryu. He looks a little dorky, but he's also Uryu, so he's allowed to look a little dorky.
I think he had too round of a face for me, like in terms of their casting.
You want to talk about the man with the pointiest face in all of the show.
Uryu is like,
yeah, I know, right?
He looks like an elf.
Yeah, but that being said, I could not get over how bad Renji and Byakuya look. They look...
Okay, Renji I can agree with, but I don't think there was any way in hell you're going to make that guy look good in live action. I thought Byakuya looked fine.
Those tendrils, they looked awful at every moment, every shot. I was just
I think they add that little otherworldly bit to him that is like, okay.
They look like a stage play actor. They look like the actors they use in the stage plays, which is all right for a stage play, but for a live action production,
maybe.
Then again, as we will see, costuming is one of the hardest things to get on this entire list.
It really is. So it sounds like the way we're going is it's good for live action.
It's good for live action.
Yeah, I'd put it near the top of good for live action, but we'll get there as we continue on. One of the funniest parts for me, aside from all you got to do is drink all your milk, was the fact that just during that ending scene where Byakuya is literally just slicing his shit up.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is it when he keeps getting back?
He keeps getting back up.
Oh God, oh my God.
That's the funniest shit. I'm like, God, just end this fucking thing.
Yeah, no,
What's
I'm
happening?
sorry. It's like, Byakuya, kill him. Even I'm like, just chop his damn head off. You can.
Yeah, you literally
What's stopping
could.
you?
Like, you've impaled him 7 times. Clearly you're missing all his vital organs.
Yeah, all of them?
All of them.
Yeah, slashing him, stabbing him. Stab him in the heart or cut off his head. Stop with this. He gets up 3 whole times.
4. He gets up a 4th time. They don't even do rule of 3s.
Oh, it's so dragged out.
Speaking of dragged out.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I think it's time to blow this scene.
Get
everybody in your stuff together. All right, 3, 2, 1. This sucks.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I don't hate it as much as most of the internet does.
Oh.
I willingly admit that. There are parts of the show that I legitimately enjoy. I like some of the more adult-oriented segments of the world that they're showing. I like the vibe that it puts together. But god damn, can I never forgive what it did to Vicious. Like if it had done everything else that it did and just kept Vicious as a stoic guy, aside from like without making him that stupid older Targaryen brother.
Oh, that is what they did.
Yeah, they turned him into fucking Viserys from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I guess now I have to quantify that because there's another one in the new fucking show. But that was the worst thing that they could have ever possibly done, and it just ruined everything else for me. I was able to forgive like a lot of things, and there were parts of the show that I legitimately enjoyed. When they're dealing with like the teddy bear head dude, and he's just like all muffled, I thought that scene was legitimately funny.
Remember what I said about how if you want to do your own thing, you should be your own thing? That can go two different ways.
Yeah.
One, you can make your own goddamn story.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were working within a universe, change everything. Maybe don't even cast these characters. Cast it within the universe. Make a story within the universe of Cowboy Bebop if you're going to change everything. Or again, they could have used these characters and made a new story.
I thought a lot of the casting was like good.
I am controversial in that I don't love John Cho as Spike. I
do wish he was younger, but I thought he did a fine job.
It's not even so much the age for me. I just don't feel like he gets like, okay, but part of that is honestly for me, both the directing and kind of the script. Because honestly, none of this show at any point feels like original Cowboy Bebop.
No.
And Spike is a huge part of that vibe, a huge part of it. Now, I will say, I forget his name, the guy who plays Jet. Phenomenal casting in that regard. A+, no notes.
No, he's great.
Nails every single beat. Love it.
Probably my favorite part of the show.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? It's no question. He's the best part of the show. All of his stories, while not great, are the best stories here.
He feels a little too mother's milk from The Boys at times, just in terms of his story, but...
I get that. But that being said, when I said make your own thing, this Cowboy Bebop is the prime example of when you completely miss the mark of what the original was about while still trying to use its stories, making something that is completely disconnected from what those stories were supposed to tell, and are just weird, awkward, and honestly, just in some places, bad, just really bad. I cannot get over, like you said, Vicious. But what about Julia?
Yeah.
Oh my Christ.
That's the other side of that coin from Vicious, is like they took his, arc and gave her his pathos.
It's really bad.
It is really bad. I don't know if I can say it's as bad as Attack on Titan, though. I personally don't know if I can say that. I would lean more to whatever, because again, I am more forgiving of a lot of what that show did.
The thing that it has going for me in terms of like whether or not it's bad or whatever definitely has to do with the fact that I did actually like a lot of Jet stories. There are some cool visual shots. Like
there's a lot of really good shots, some pretty good moments, and again, like some of the stuff, there's some stuff that got legit laughs out of me.
Yeah.
I found legitimate entertainment from this, whereas while watching Attack on Titan, the most entertainment I got out of it was a guffawing, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I don't know. Cowboy Bebop for me, though, it's so frustrating because the tone that the original anime strikes, the
it's
visuals,
never comparing to the original.
The world.
It can't.
I know, but to completely miss the mark the way that it did. And again, while still trying to adapt its stories, it tries to adapt actual stories from the anime and botches it so badly that it hurts way more than it should.
You make a fair point, and the fact that legitimately the entire project got canceled a couple weeks after it came out it's near the top of bad, but it is not it can't be below Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I can see it being at the top of bad. Top of bad.
Shift. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I feel all right about that.
Yeah, if it had been in whatever, I would have been like whatever. But it hurts so bad to watching the Teddy Bomber episode.
Yeah,
that's a funny moment. but it butchers that story in a way that completely undermines everything that it's about from every perspective.
Yeah,
it's
and
just
like
not
what it does
good.
with the Mad Pierrot, despite the fact that I think he looks kind of cool on screen, it just that episode was already kind of a goofy episode in the anime, but he was legitimately creepy in that episode.
That's because in the Mad Pierrot, the visuals are selling all of it.
Yeah, wasn't that like the one like where they were experimenting with digital coloring or something?
Yeah, actually, it's one of the few episodes.
That's one of the few bits of trivia I know.
Yeah, like, and honestly, it's so weird. A lot of the digital coloring is better than like digital coloring in later anime. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop live action. It's bad. It could be whatever, but I'm saying bad.
Yeah. All right, this is actually a blank spot in my repertoire, so you're gonna have to take the reins here. I have not seen the Japanese Death Note movie.
Okay, so.
Also, is Ryuk from a PlayStation 3 game?
Yes.
Cool.
I only saw this particular, like these two movies, there's two of them. I only saw them.
Oh, that's right, because they have this like weird choose your own adventure angle where you get to like choose your own ending, or like they have like weird plot divergences or something, don't they?
I think the third movie might have like, hey, it didn't turn out like
what ifs?
I can't remember. How's the third movie go?
I just remember there's one where L wins.
Okay, so yeah, there's like a what if L wins scenario kind of thing.
But the two movies are just the movies.
Gotcha.
The spoilers for those, if you haven't seen these, you probably weren't all that curious to begin with. At the end of these two movies, L basically, what would you call it? Stalemates, or kind of like gives up his life to basically beat Kira.
Huh.
Yeah, it's basically that moment where Kira dies, except he traps Kira into proving that he's Kira. So, but these movies are fine. They're in fact pretty good. But that's how I remember them. They're faithful adaptations.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this was
that you watched, I mean.
Shortly after they came out, so I would have.
Came out like 2010.
2010?
Yeah, it was a while back. It's so far back that I remember that I think I.
God damn, those are the Namek years.
Yeah.
The hotness of Death Note.
Yeah, because like here's something from me. I have never actually been a huge fan of Death Note. I've seen it all. Everything after L leaving the show.
2006.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know you then.
Cowboy Bebop. Oh, sorry, Death Note's old. Death Note is really old. But yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah. All things considered, Ryuk actually looks better than I would have anticipated then.
Do you know they make Rem a dude in the live action?
They make Rem a guy?
I don't remember. Oh.
Yes, because they give him a man's voice.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but it's still.
They're non-sexual, whatever. They refer to the Rem as her in the anime.
Yeah, but it's still feminine in the. They just gave her that deep voice to make it like gender ambiguous. Anyway, point not. It's fine. They're fine. They're fine movies.
Put it in the fine category.
Yeah, they're 2006. They tell the story. It's a really interesting way to end it.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, I would put it in like good for live action.
Really?
Yeah.
Below Bleach? Okay.
Below Bleach. Yeah.
All right, moving on to one that I am familiar with. The Netflix American version of Death Note.
This movie,
oh my God.
I don't know how to rate this. This is so unfair.
It gets a Willem Dafoe out of 10.
This movie is weird, wacky, crazy.
And it
not
makes
accurate.
Light fucking dumb as shit.
Yes. Oh my. So it's really interesting that when you take a look at the character of Light Yagami in the anime / manga, and you take a look at Light Yagami in the movie.
Light Turner?
Light Turner, because it shows you two very different interpretations of the kind of character who would find the Death Note and use it from a Japanese perspective of a guy who is brilliant, but thinks he's better than everybody, and whatever the fuck Light Turner,
he does believe he's better than everybody, but it's from the perspective of like a suburban white boy, where it's just like, I'm God now.
Who gets bullied? So like this one is like, well, what if a bully got a hold of the Death Note?
He's so bad at what he does. Literally the first scene we have between him and L is L just like walks into the coffee shop he's in, steps up on the table, is like, "You're Kira." He's like, what? No, I'm not. Shut up.
Yeah,
How'd
no.
you know?
Yeah, no, this movie is a bad
It's
adaptation
so
of Death Note.
bad.
But it's also amazing.
hysterically bad.
Yeah, well, honestly, I love it. I love this movie.
This is good. This is good bad movie.
I highly recommend anyone who's a fan of Death Note, go into this for fun. Go into it for fun, and you will get bastardizations of your favorite
Watch it with
characters.
friends. You have to be able to riff on a movie.
Yeah, because some of the performances, some of the moments, oh my God, that scene where she actually writes the name in the book, and he's like, his eyes are like, what the fuck? Oh my God, it's
Just like the whole contrived thing with the Ferris wheel at the
Yeah.
end. It's so fucking weird.
And this version of L is also hysterical. Every character in this is hysterical. They're bad, but I love it. I don't know how to rate this.
It's at the very bottom of actually great, I think.
It
For me. 'Cause
honestly,
it's
it
like
is actually great. Because
I enjoyed my time with this piece of shit.
I did too. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of actually great.
Bottom
because
of
I can't,
actually great.
I don't know. I don't know where else to put it.
It can't just be whatever, because it invokes such emotion.
It does,
and it's not good for live action.
But like the emotion that it like drags out of you isn't actually negative. It's positive in the worst way.
And like, I know Willem Dafoe as Ryuk is like sparingly used, but every moment he's on screen is fucking joy.
Yeah. What perfect there is a part of me that desperately wishes we could have seen an actual really good live action Death Note adaptation with him as Ryuk, because he's perfect casting.
He is. I feel like you didn't even need to put CGI over him. You just have Willem Dafoe's face.
Don't be mean.
I'm not being mean. I think he has a legitimately great face for that.
That's like saying he's got a face for radio.
The dude is legitimately horrifying. I love him. You've seen his smile.
That kind of reminds me of like how Steve Buscemi kind of embraced what Steve Buscemi looks like.
Yeah, some people have that face, and it's like it's very, like, it's great for them,
It's haunting.
and it fits them, and it's like you can't imagine them any other way.
But I love Willem Dafoe. He's a great
Fantastic.
actor.
I love him. I love all the weird art house shit he does.
Don't watch. Oh God, what
You
was
guys
it?
about Wendigo?
No, not Wendigo. Lars von Trier movie.
Oh,
Antichrist.
yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
watch-
Antichrist.
Yeah, don't. Just watch the scene with the dead fox. That's all you need to see. Don't actually watch Antichrist.
I mean, it's not a pleasant watch, but
It is-
if you're into weird shit,
yeah.
watch it.
Yo,
Detective Pikachu.
I love this movie.
I enjoy
Unabashedly, I love this movie.
I enjoy it. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to quantify it being better than an anime, because Pokemon is so much more than an anime.
A lot of people are going to disagree and think that this should be a video game movie. And here's the thing.
It's
I
both.
think it qualifies as both. I think this works both as a video game movie because it's technically based off of a video game, the Detective Pikachu series. However, if you quantify Pokemon as only a video game or only an anime, you are missing the wide breadth of what this franchise is. It is multifaceted, and any part of it is vital to what it is. Whereas with Dragon Ball, 90% of its games, nobody gives a shit. Pokemon, its games, its anime, all of it are a part of it.
No movie has ever made me question the anatomy of a Ditto more than this one.
Yo, I love that this movie actively tries to use its Pokemon to build its world. Everywhere
And it does
you
it
look,
very well.
Yeah, everywhere you look, Pokemon is part of this world. And that's what makes the movie actually work.
They all
Because
live in a Pokemon
world. Exactly. And to that end, like everything else in the movie is elevated. Even the stuff that is kind of bad. Like
There's admittedly a lot of stuff that's kind of bad.
but that the second act breakup that lasts for 5 minutes. Stop, movies, I'm begging you. It's always bad. But like, I don't know. It's not, I don't know if I want to put it in actually great or good for live action, because it does some stuff that is really good for a live action adaptation. But in terms of it being a good movie, I don't know. It's a little tough.
This is the one that I'd probably actually put over Bleach in good for live action. Because it doesn't invoke the same kind of like fuck yeah feeling that Alita got out of me, and it doesn't invoke that same what the fuck is happening, oh my god I love this feeling that Death Note had from me.
You know, I'm curious, Tyler, what do you think about Detective Pikachu the movie?
I think it was good for live action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I honestly, it's the only one so far other than the Death Note movie on this list that I've seen.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But
Wait, but which Death Note?
I've seen all the Death Note.
Okay.
But it was like, again, when they came out, so I don't.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
don't remember.
So you
Yeah,
know what?
I'd gladly put this over Bleach and good for live
yeah,
action.
let's put it at the top for good for live action. I still think it's good, but
All right, next up, not quite, and I have probably seen this movie more than anybody else on Earth. I have seen this movie so many goddamn times because I was the one that wrote the riff track for us.
yeah. Okay, so one thing I want to get out of the way real quick, and I don't want to spoil what we're gonna say for another movie later down the line. A lot of people try and bring this up as the worst live action anime adaptation ever made.
Maybe.
I mean, it's bad. It's not.
As far as like per the budget, maybe.
I will say, people try and compare this to Last Airbender.
That's
no, girl,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Girl, no.
As far as like adaptations go, I mean, you know, we'll get to that, but as far as trying to translate Dragon Ball for an American audience,
This still fails.
You know what translated Dragon Ball really well for the American audience? Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Those did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And this just decided to, I don't know, like this feels like studio executive meddling.
Oh, it is.
Is like the
Yeah.
primary cause of everything wrong with this movie.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Goku going to high school, Chi-Chi McRoberts.
Bulma and Chanta.
That's only in the video game, by the way, only in the PSP game.
I think Chi-Chi Roberts is also
Chi-Chi
only in
McRoberts is also
in the novel, actually, the
in
novelization.
the novella.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Bulma Enchanto, the greatest scientist that magic has ever known.
I gotta say, Justin Chatwin was a terrible choice. Just terrible.
I don't know if you were going to find a good live action Goku. And for the budget this movie had, like you're not pulling A-list.
Yeah? Well, you could nowadays.
Probably.
Oh no, I'm getting his name, and I feel really bad about this. The kid who played Blue Beetle and the main character from Cobra Kai.
I could see that.
He would be a stupendous Goku.
I could legitimately see that. In terms of like this though, this is like you were getting like CW actors basically, for the most part.
This is CW presents Dragon Ball.
Pretty much, or actually no, it was Fox.
You know what?
but-
No, because you know what? At least the CW Flash series is more faithful than this shit.
Oh, that's maybe. But yeah, this was a rough watch when it was in theaters.
But at least, you know what I will say? I laughed. I found this movie entertaining. It's bad, but it's not boring.
Again, the dozen or so times I've seen this movie has killed any of the enjoyable
Well,
parts
yeah,
of it.
I mean, at that, yeah, like when you put yourself through it as many times as you do, you grow up, like, it probably becomes miserable.
It is. I'd put it lower than Cowboy Bebop in bad, personally. Still above Attack on Titan. Still above Attack on Titan for me.
Yeah,
it is bad though. It is bad.
It is bad. It's bad.
Like you turn Dragon Ball and then it like just kind of turns into like a weird Power Rangers movie near the end, where you're just fighting the B tier putties and then Goku turns into the Ozaru.
Yeah. No, it's a nonsensical story. It like it's too fast.
It
it's
tries
too
to
blurry.
force in all of the lore, which they already translate poorly.
Yeah.
So
no, all of it's bad.
It's bad.
But it's fun.
I
Okay, no, the first time it's fun, not when you do it what you did.
I did it too many times.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it, honestly, I would put it above Cowboy Bebop.
I would still put it below Cowboy Bebop.
All right. Below Cowboy Bebop, above Attack on Titan.
There's still some joy to be found in Cowboy Bebop for me.
But now, speaking of another Dragon Ball live action adaptation,
this is a much better interpretation of Dragon Ball.
this is some silly B movie shit.
You will have a good time watching this,
Yeah.
legitimately.
Look.
It's actually got some pretty good pre-Crouching Tiger wire kung fu in it.
That being said, I can't put this above whatever. I can't.
I don't know that I could either, but I enjoyed this way more than I thought I ever could. This movie deserves a much longer discussion if we are to actually talk about it, I think.
Yeah.
But everything it does, it translates Dragon Ball so much better than Dragon Ball Evolution did, just in terms of tone, in terms of presenting its lore even.
Because it fully embraces what it is. It's not trying
It's kooky
to be,
bullshit.
Yeah, it's not trying to be edgier or cooler than what a Dragon Ball originally was.
And this is a much better Dragon Ball Sentai movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's a Chinese movie, but there is so much in this movie that is legitimately enjoyable.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised that Japan's not tried to do another live action Dragon Ball. I'm surprised we were the first to really give it a go.
I'm not too shocked at that because Fox had the rights for so long and they were probably running out of that space. It's we gotta do something.
It'll never happen again though. Not after Evolution.
No, there's no way.
Maybe now that we've had YuYu Hakusho, Bleach, One Piece.
You think Netflix would try to give it a spin?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Disney own the rights now?
I don't know, but it's possible. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't. Who knows?
But
hopefully not, because I don't need a live action Dragon Ball.
I don't know if I could put this in whatever.
I would. It is whatever.
When was the last time you watched it?
A couple of years ago.
I watched it 2 days ago.
Okay. It is not a good movie, though.
Yeah, it's not good for live action, and I don't think it's as laughably bad to put it in actually great.
But it is whatever. It's whatever. But
it almost deserves its own special category. But yeah, I'll go ahead and throw whatever. Whatever's looking very lonely.
Yeah.
Next up,
this is interesting because it's awful. But
is bad, but it's so It's another one of those movies where if you and your friends have a bad movie night and you pull this out, you're in for a good time.
Honestly, if you're doing a bad live, oh God, I forgot Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, Malcolm McDowell's in it.
That's so good.
Right?
But if you're doing a bad live action anime night, hey, we're gonna be this is what we're watching.
just bad movie in general. This is this was made in 1995. It does not look it. It does not look it. It looks like a late 80s movie at the best. Including, I guess Gary Daniels is the guy that played Kenshiro in this.
I just don't understand why it was made. Because if you think about it, Fist of the North Star at the time was not big in the West.
I think a studio wanted to do a Mad Max. And they were trying to, this is well beyond the prime of Mad Max too, so that also doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But my guess is somebody had the license and they decided to make this, and it is just a ridiculous movie. The practical effects in it, surprisingly good for the time.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly good. The whole movie is actually available on YouTube. I don't think, the last time I checked, it has not been pulled.
I
do not condone, but if you find it.
I do have to say, I haven't seen this
really
since I was a kid.
Okay. It is enjoy-a-bad.
Yeah.
It's too kooky to be whatever. It's another one of those things that's, God, it almost needs. I almost wish I had another category, but it's not good. It's not great. I think it sits there with Dragon Ball, actually kind of in the same tier. Almost an exact tie with Magic Begins, just in terms of how weird as shit this movie is.
Maybe whatever needs to be. Does whatever need to be so bad it's good?
Let's say good bad.
Good bad. I believe in you. Good bad.
Good board.
Good board.
Good board. No, leave it good board.
There we go. Good bad and then just bad. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Good bad. Bad.
Yeah, good bad. This is good bad.
Yeah. I can see it being good bad.
Above or below?
Below.
A little below, yeah. It's less what the fucky kind of enjoyable and more of this is a weird piece of cinema history is more what this is.
I saw this when I was a kid because it was on one of because we used to have HBO and Showtime and all that, and it was on, and I watched it, and I was just like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah, it was on network television. It was that opening scene with him just beating up a bunch of goons. The part that like sticks in my head, where you see the guy's head just kind of like bubble up and lump up in what looks to be almost kind of like a trauma-like effect. And it, honestly, it is, if you have a bad movie night with your friends, if you have that kind of a group, worth it.
All right, so what do we have next?
Next, we have the Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, I know there are like 3 of these.
Oh man.
But kind of like with Attack on Titan, I'm lumping them together as a series.
No, these are all connected. They can all stand as a whole, and they should for their crimes.
The first one is okay. I thought the first one is okay. The rest of them, not so much.
These movies are.
Look, it's obvious that you should just go fucking watch Brotherhood.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Or
very clear.
Read the manga, watch Brotherhood. This sucks.
It's bad.
I don't know how to.
Some of the visual effects are all right. Like I feel like the visual effects are what they put like the most effort into.
Which goes to show you how bad the rest of it is, because frankly, even the best of its visual effects are still rocky, and the worst of its visual effects make me want to.
Yeah, in the first movie, I would say I don't know. In like the latter couple movies, I feel like everything looks a little too fake. In the first movie, I feel like the costume design, the set work is actually pretty good too.
I think they got the costume work really good.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the costume work, the wig work's terrible though.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll concede that the wig does not look like the wigs.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Great.
All of the
Alphonse looks pretty good throughout though.
Yeah. No, he looks fine. Like Alphonse. Genuinely decent effect on Alphonse. I'm kind of surprised. I feel like that's where a lot of the budget of those movies went, keeping Alphonse on screen as often as they did.
Yeah. But overall,
it's bad.
Yeah, it's so bad that I don't even really have a lot to say about it.
No, I don't either.
It's like boring.
Yeah.
Kind of bad.
Honestly, I put in real life as a mistake because I genuinely.
There's merit there.
They genuinely fail at every step for me in terms of retelling the story, in terms of the characters. The acting is so bad. The acting is terrible.
Is it worse than Attack on Titan though? Like, because that's the one that I was always leaning real life is a mistake, and I felt like that one was going to be there for sure. Whereas Fullmetal Alchemist did not even derive enough emotion out of me to feel that way.
Isn't that awful?
Okay, you know what? That's a fair point. That actually might even give it more credit for being there.
Yeah, I would.
Is it boredom? It's worse than ever.
It is boring. It is horribly acted. It is genuinely. It misunderstands the material, or at least misrepresents it.
Okay, you know what? We struck bedrock.
Yeah, I genuinely do not like those movies.
All right, next up, Ghost in the Shell, starring Scarlett Johansson. There was so much controversy around this movie when it was first announced, and I get it.
Look, I'm not going to get too political, but if you have to write a reason into your story that your Asian character isn't Asian, then maybe
they just changed her name. They changed her name.
They literally.
And then they gave her an Asian mom.
Yeah, well, because she's supposed to be Asian, but then it's like, oh, but she's not because she has this different body.
I can't even remember what they changed her name to. For the most part, they just call her Major, but she does say her name a few times. It's like.
Is it not Motoko?
No, it's not. It's not Mitsuko. It's not Makoto Kusanagi. It's something Kane or something like I can't remember. It's just a very bland name.
But you know what?
But it is the same initials.
Let's completely separate ourselves from casting and
which I was able to do while watching
and
this.
whitewashing the character. Let's treat it as its own thing.
I went into this just kind of expecting a weird knockoff Cyberpunk.
And it is.
It is. It absolutely is. The set design, I think it's great. I think the set design looks amazing. I think the costume design looks amazing. I think the acting is better than I thought it was going to be. And aside from the problematic casting of Scarlett Johansson, I thought the casting was actually really good. The guy that got for Bato, like dead on from the fucking anime. Holy shit.
I will say the eyes look bad. I think they tried with the eyes and they didn't succeed.
I think they worked.
In terms of casting for all of the characters, I don't like the old man. Oh God, the
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. What's his name?
I don't know.
Fuck.
He's just the old man to me.
Yeah,
I'm thinking thinking RoboCop mode, where they literally just call the old guy the old man the whole time.
They just call him the gorilla half the time.
Yeah, sorry. When it comes to the guy who running the organization, that was Beat Takeshi, I believe. If I might be wrong.
Aramaki.
Aramaki, thank you. Yes, his acting is awful. He does not care. He's not here for this.
He doesn't emote a whole lot, but he also kind of pulls off that I'm too old for this, I don't give a shit sort of energy.
I felt like I'm too old for this. I don't give a shit for this role, not the character.
You know what? You might be right, but I think it played into the character.
Yeah.
Was it Beat Takeshi?
Yeah, it's Beat Takeshi Kitano.
Okay.
Yeah.
They could have gotten the guy who does his voice in the standalone complex.
Probably.
Perfect, because he does acting too.
Yeah, but they didn't want to. Well, because
voice actors can't do live action, apparently.
Well, I was just going to say because they wanted to at least have some Asian characters in the cast because of where it takes place and the story that they're trying to tell.
I think that said, like I still say that it's probably still bad because it is ultimately kind of just a boring, super forgettable movie.
It's so boring.
Especially when you compare it to another cyberpunk action movie like Alita. It is better than Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, it's better than Cowboy Bebop. I would actually put it at the bottom of good. So unfortunately,
it's too boring to be bad.
Yeah, and it's too bad to be good for live action.
Yeah. So it's just bad.
Honestly, I'm sort of sad for that because it's not, in terms visually, it does a lot of things right. It just does. But
visually it looks amazing. Yeah. Like those robot geishas at the beginning look fucking fantastic and horrifying at the same time. I love them.
Yeah.
Do they have, I still haven't seen it. Do they have any Kachikoma or Logikomas in it at all?
You mean the crab tanks? Yes, there's one in the climax.
Yeah.
And it looks good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, where the original Ghost in the Shell movie tries to build an atmosphere and takes its time very deliberately, this movie misunderstands a lot of that. It doesn't actually take its time and build an atmosphere. It just kind of feels like a slog.
I think that's ultimately one of the biggest problems is the fact that it is a movie based on a movie already. And as we've seen with Disney trying to do live action from their animated works.
It is just a live action adaptation, just like with Disney. You're right.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it is.
And the anime movie is much more visually striking, much more visually interesting, and I mean, faithful to the original creators' ideas.
Hey, maybe we shouldn't make live action movies based off of properties that rely on surrealism and stylization to tell their stories.
But then how are all these companies going to get their tax write-offs, Kaiser? Come on. Think about it logically. Oh, speaking of style, next up.
Okay, I've never seen the manga for this one.
The manga's fucked up, but so's the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Tyler, you've got feelings.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to switch out with Tyler for a second.
I'm just going to yell from over
here. Okay, yeah, yell.
Takashi Miike, the guy that went on, the guy that did Audition, you're gonna see some fucked up shit, and you do. This is a fucked up movie based on a fucked up story with one of the most fucked up climaxes I've ever seen, and I don't know how to feel about it, but I love it.
Yeah.
I would put this in, the Gantz section of, it's really fucked up, but I love Gantz.
Yeah.
How gory and heart-wrenching it is.
It is a fucking trial because there's maybe one character in this movie that you can look at and be like, I can kind of sympathize with them a little bit. Every other character in this movie is like, piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit. Hate all of you. The fucking protagonist of this movie is the antagonist.
Yes. It is about the ultimate sadist versus the ultimate masochist.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate masochist being this Yakuza boss who just had to take over I honestly have not seen the movie, so I don't know what all the movies changed.
Yeah, no, it's
he just took over the head of this clan, and he's
and he doesn't even
take on revenge.
Yeah, he doesn't even necessarily like it's a detective story from his angle because he's trying to find who killed his boss. Yeah?
I've never seen it.
Well, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you.
I'm just saying, I've never seen it. So for me,
You see his penis?
oh, cool.
Yeah. You see a few peni. This movie is like dirty. Like if you're going into a movie and you're not if you don't know what to expect going into this movie, you will leave it feeling like you need a shower.
Yeah.
It is not a comfy watch. You need to be ready for something like this because I watched it when I was 14.
Oh no.
Yeah, because like that's when we finally, or whenever the hell On Demand came out, and it was on Cinemax, and it was like, oh, what the heck is Ichi the Killer? Click, watch. My life changed.
I've never seen it, but I know a lot about it.
Yeah.
I know enough about it to know that's fucked up.
I do think it is a very important read.
Hey,
Especially if you were a shitty teenager at any point.
It's one of those things where you look at it and it explores a lot of the darkest impulses that the human mind can muster.
Yes.
And being able to reflect that upon your own psyche is an important dark reflection to be able to look into and see within yourself the shit that you need to address. Because there are a lot of people out there that let their inner demons fester and don't put a yoke on them.
Now, I'm going to put this at the very top. Not seeing the movie at all and only seeing clips, but no.
It's absolutely better than the anime. Yeah. It is absolute, this is...
There is an anime, it's literally just like a 4-minute...
Yeah, it's another OVA.
Video.
It's another OVA kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is an experience, and it is so fucking hard to quantify. But I'd say if you want a glimpse into Takashi Miike's mind before going into this, watch Audition. It is still fucked up, but it is not as fucked up as Ichi the Killer.
All right.
And also, be prepared for a really weird acid trip of a movie because it's not chronologically confusing, but in terms of where it jumps in terms of story beats is very, it can be hard to follow if you're not in, you know?
So don't watch this on your phone while you're doing something else, and don't put it on as the second monitor on your browser.
Yeah, no, this is not a background watch.
The movie. Watch it.
Is the old man who's not an old man in the movie?
Yeah, the fucking yoked dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's fucking it's amazing.
Also, super recommend if you really like this movie, Homunculus. Just got a live action.
Oh yeah.
I need to read that.
Yeah,
I want to read
manga's
it.
by the same person.
Yeah.
And it, I think, is my #1 manga. It's getting a English release now.
Yeah, Ichi the Killer is one of those movies that every now and again I'll just go back to. It's I can't even call it a movie that I love. It's not like that. It is a movie that I don't know. It's a weird fixation.
Gotcha.
So yeah, all the way up. Next up, another one I have not been able to see. What is this on? It's on Peacock or something,
Yeah,
right?
it's on fuck. Okay.
I'm not getting another streaming service just to watch. Oh my God. My relationship with JoJo is tenuous on a good day.
Yeah, they try to do the hair thing. It doesn't work. So, Stardust Crusaders live action is fine. It's obviously a project that was made with a lot of...
Stardust Crusaders?
Sorry, not Stardust Crusaders. Why did I say that? No, fucking Diamond is Unbreakable.
Okay.
Sorry, I mixed my JoJos.
Real quick, sorry. Is this an official poster?
I don't know.
What the fuck is this? This random ocean square.
I don't know.
Also, it looks like somebody tried to crop his head out there, and it looks like they accidentally erased a little too much. You can see a little divot near the top.
Okay, look, I don't know where this image is from. I just pulled it up of Google Images.
Okay.
Anyway, point being, the movie is fine. It is obviously a project that, yeah, it's a movie. It was gonna be it was part 1. Never got a part 2 because
Wonder
it's
why.
not that good. You can definitely tell that it was made by a bunch of people who certainly love JoJo.
I can tell from the costume design.
Yeah, they definitely tried to recreate these characters, but one of the biggest problems they were always going to run into was that its budget was obviously just kind of too low. All of its CG looks wonky and funky, and they have Interestingly, they cram the first like minor arc of not even cram. They take the first arc of Diamond is Unbreakable and they fit it into the movie, and it's mostly fine. Like what they make that one serial killer dude like kind of the main villain of the movie, which yeah, it mostly works. Honestly though, I don't even know what to say about it because it's just not all that interesting.
Sorry, I'm just concerned with the fact that Josuke here is giving me like the people's eyebrow.
A little bit. The casting is mostly all right, I'll say that. I definitely felt like they mostly nailed it. I actually kind of liked Jotaro's actor well enough. But at the end of the day, it's just a meh movie made by people who really like the source material. And so in that regard, it's like watching a fan film.
I look at Jotaro's actor and just think like he looks like he could play a Kazuma Kiryu in Yakuza movie.
And you can tell why he was pretty all right for Jotaro then. Yeah, no, and honestly, like I don't hate it. It wasn't bad. It was an interesting watch. It was very interesting to see because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure should never be adapted into live action. Just shouldn't. That is an ask. It barely works. I mean, it does work as an anime, but it took a lot to make it work as an anime. So, live action, not a choice I would make, but it does an all right job.
Where do you think this fits in?
I'd say good, bad, in that if you're a JoJo fan, you'll get some entertainment out of it. You'll actually you'll find it fascinating. It's not bad.
So it's like a fascinating sort of good bad, but not like a really entertaining good bad.
Again, it feels like a fan film. Like I definitely felt the love for JoJo in this. One of the things I was actually really sad about though, if I had to be honest, David Productions ruined JoJo for me if they don't use the sound effects. Almost like Dragon Ball at this point, my mind now associates the stand sounds very specifically with David Productions.
That's fair.
So yeah,
so like near the bottom.
I would put it in the middle of good bad.
Yeah. I don't. Okay, I can't judge because I haven't seen it. Yeah, all right. I'll just let it sit there. Like I'm not that attached to Fist of the North Star, but I do think it's enjoyable.
Yeah. I know where this next one's gonna fall for you.
I do too, because oh my fucking God, what a waste of my goddamn life.
This is bad. This is so bad. It's insultingly bad. Imagine missing the mark of the story this much.
This is unmitigatedly, it's a disaster sort of bad. To the point where they're just trying to do everything in the show beat for beat, including the comedy licks.
Except wrong.
They do it all wrong. They don't have the style of the anime to back it up. It's just everything is done so poorly. The only reason this exists is because it was blowing up on Crunchyroll and Netflix is like, I want some of that.
Yeah, no.
But we can't have it. Make a new one. That's in my mind, that is the only reason this exists. It's so bad. It was so bad that it's 12 fucking episodes. It's 12 fucking episodes long. Why would you do that to me? I couldn't. I had to start fast forwarding through it to get to some of the beats.
I gave it up after 4 episodes, and I wouldn't have blamed you if you'd done the fucking same, buddy. It's terrible. And afterwards, I went and looked up other reviews of it because I needed to see how other people felt. Yeah, I'm not alone.
I don't need to know that anybody else had ever seen this. I don't need to know that other people hated it because it's so fucking bad. It speaks for itself.
I know. I just needed. No, it was misery. It was.
I had to I gave up on it after kind of like you. I gave up on it around episode 4. I just started fast forwarding to get to some of the bigger beats just to see how it played out some of the bigger moments that I remember from the anime, at least some of the bigger action moments. And no, it's fucking bad. He's too in control at all times. There's never that sense that you get that he's snapping.
Yeah, no,
and just all the comedy is done way worse.
Because they set the jokes up wrong. Every single step of the way, they mishandle. It's bad.
Real life was a mistake.
Yeah, real life was a mistake.
Very bottom.
Yeah, very bottom.
Very bottom. Probably the worst thing on this list.
And now let's never speak of it again.
It is gone. Mob Psycho 100 can never hurt us again. Go back to the anime. All right, the one people have been waiting for us to talk about.
Why find the anime on the side?
I don't know.
That's
It was the
weird.
only one I could find with the actual title in it that wasn't in like 260p.
Okay. Well, hey, here's Netflix's One Piece, the live-action anime that, quote-unquote, broke the live-action anime curse. Now, do you believe that? Do you
Not
believe
really.
that it has broken the
I don't
curse?
think it broke the curse because there are other things that I felt like did all right before it.
Okay. But,
That said, I think it was pretty good.
okay.
I enjoyed it. I think they casted it very well. They paced it out pretty all right. The biggest negatives I'll give it is just that it could never hit the emotional beats that the actual show did. The walk to Arlong Park was neutered big time, and that's the first moment in the anime that I really remembered. Oh my god!
I have to say, yo, who thought it was a good idea to take the walk to Arlong Park and then immediately truncate it with the village burning? Why would you do that? Why would you cut in between? See, walk to Arlong Park needed to go from them walking to them showing up. Why? On God's earth.
It's pitch perfect in the anime. That's
With the music?
walk. Yeah, dun dun dun. Dun, 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 dun. That was the first moment in the anime when I was watching it where I got the tingles. I'm like, this is something special. That was the first time while watching the anime that I felt that this did not hit it right, but it hits so many other things well.
There are
Dog.
Doggo. We have a Dalmatian here. He's very cute. He's also very skittish. So, I think that this show it has promise. It has a lot of promise.
It does.
Between the fact that, for the casting, Emily Rudd as Nami knocks it out of the
Again,
park.
I think the casting was one of the best things this show did. Everybody that they cast, I feel like hits it on the points. Even I love Buggy. Buggy in this is great.
Yeah, Buggy's not even trying to.
Tyler has feelings about One Piece.
I just wanted to say, yeah, Buggy's perfect, spot on, and I love the way that they filmed close-ups and the wide-angle lens.
I hate that. It's awful.
Fuck you.
No, I hate that because it made everything look weird and awkward at all times. No, I'm praying to God they get rid of that. I'm praying to God they cut that. But I will say Buggy was super good.
Set design, too, was
Yeah.
so good.
A+.
Yeah,
I think
set design, costume design, casting, amazing. I even like some of the changes that they make. I like introducing Garp earlier.
Oh, look.
Some people hate that. I like it.
We still got Don Krieg, and he still just
Sure.
run away.
Yeah,
Don
fuck-
Krieg.
yeah, fuck Don Krieg.
Don Krieg sucks.
Worst
Yes.
villains ever.
Thank you.
I don't need them to fight Don Krieg.
And
That's
we got
fine.
The best part of that part, which is what's his name from his crew.
Yeah.
Oh, Gene?
Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. We're jumping all over. I'd like to kind of start, go down the list a little bit because I want to be a little more comprehensive with this one because it's something we didn't get to talk about much because it came out during the strike.
I don't think we'll go into a deep conversation on this.
I'm actually making a video where I talk about it in depth. So if you want to see that, you'll probably be able to get more there.
We can, yeah. But there you go.
Yeah, Buggy, perfect. He's not like the show, like the manga so much. He's actually kind of a different interpretation. He's almost Buggy by way of Jared Leto, only good and not awful. And so yeah, I actually really enjoyed Buggy. I enjoyed all the most of the changes they made.
Yeah.
Like the stuff with Garp, having him be a parallel alongside.
Yeah,
the
no,
Straw
I
Hats.
thought that was a great narrative choice.
Yes, keeping Kobe and Helmeppo around. Holy wow, I would never have thought to do that. What a cool idea.
Yeah, because they are they are the ones that are following Luffy. They're the ones they're filling in the world as the plot is happening.
Honestly, kind of a brilliant choice.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen the last 2 episodes yet because we're doing a recording over at Good Time Zone.
Ah, okay.
But at least from my perspective, where it's like, hey, here's they're taking out they replaced Garp they replaced Smoker with Garp, Kobe, and Helmeppo.
Yeah.
And I love that because I don't care for Smoker.
Wait. Hold on.
I've heard that he is shown at the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't actually replace Smoker. Like Smoker never shows up until after where we are in the live action.
But the role that they are filling is the chase character.
Kind of. In terms of still, Garp is actually playing the role that he did in the anime. We're just seeing him more here.
Also, fun thing I like at least is in the town of when they show Logtown and everything, they're like, here's all these important.
Oh yeah,
Oh my God.
all the characters on the wanted posters.
A female pirate. Well, no, whatever.
Yeah, gotcha. At the very beginning.
They show a the female pirate.
And she's
for, like,
dressed
seconds for a
as yeah.
second. And it's like, who is that? That's not Alveda.
No.
That's potentially
Crocodile.
Fucking crocodile.
Yeah, so they're really leaning into the idea that Ivankov might have actually swapped Crocodile's gender.
That's so good.
Honestly, if that is true, if they just stealth spoiled / confirmed that rumor, I'm gonna fucking flip. That's A+.
I'm cool with that. But yeah, this show does a lot of things very well. Some things are paced poorly. It cannot be better than the anime. There's no chance in hell. It's not there.
But hold on, I do want to say, and I'm gonna get some. I gotta say this because this is the first time I've been able to talk about the show. Iñaki Godoy's Luffy is a hit or miss for me.
He's a bit one note.
A little bit. Honestly, like when he's hitting really well. Like there are some scenes where he's
It's
great.
unfortunate that it's just like sometimes the translation from what they're doing in the anime to what they do on screen just doesn't translate as well as it should have. Like him saying, "Of course I will," you know, when he's trying to help Nami, he's like, it comes across as a little flat.
Yo, remember when he's just walking, he's like, "Of course I will," and then he yells it. Honestly, cut the yell.
Yeah, just leave the yell part.
Yeah, no, cut the yell.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Leave it on the cut.
Oh yeah, because like honestly, him walking and him saying, "Of course I will," and if everyone had gotten up and started walking, with
that whole scene before that, great.
Oh yeah,
but then at the yell, it's like,
yeah, no, the yell doesn't work because it's just not that.
It's not. He can never be as expressive as the cartoon.
No. But in that regard, like, though I might feel that way, I still like Iñaki Godoy. Yeah. He still obviously understands the character. Yeah. Oda likes him. I'm not saying that
Oda put the straw hat on him himself. You can't get more crowned than that.
He's not bad. He's not poorly cast.
No.
I think the directors just need to figure out how to better utilize him for the dramatic stuff. Because that, for me, is where he's kind of rocky. But that being said, I do genuinely like a lot of his.
I think this has a lot. I think this has a lot of potential to continue going.
I cannot wait. Although, what the fuck are they gonna do with Chopper? What in
Just do an adorable little like fluffy CG monster. That's all.
Have you seen Oda's drawing of Chopper?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's super good.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here.
I'd maybe put Alita over it, but I don't know. I just think
I would put
in terms of translating something to the screen, I enjoy Alita a little bit more, personally.
So you're gonna kill me.
Oh man, are you saying Death Note's better?
Okay, no, Death Note is worse, but it's funnier.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, Death Note is worse than like the 4 things below it, okay?
Yeah, Death Note is worse than most of the good for live action category.
Yeah, in fact, actually, no. Put Death Note live action to top good bad. We didn't have that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, top good bad now. There we go. That feels better.
Yeah. No. I would put personally One Piece at the top of good for live action.
I can see that.
For me, the entire Kudo fight sucks. He's zipping around and moving.
Yeah, the Kudo bit did look like a CW show.
And not to mention, hey, so we're gonna adapt Usopp's arc. No, he doesn't get to do anything important. Literally, if you rewatch, he does nothing of value. Even him trying to contact other people barely counts as something that he does positive. He doesn't get a thing.
That's one thing that we did really lose a lot of is since we didn't have the pirate invasion, we didn't get to see Usopp be a strategist.
Yeah, we don't get to see him take out Django. He should have had a key part in taking out Kudo, but he doesn't get that.
One thing I thought we were going to see, since it was set in that mansion, I thought we were going to see some like weird Home Alone shenanigans with him. But
That being said, while that fight sucks, turning that into a horror thriller with him hunting them down was actually a really cool idea.
It worked. Like the way they ended up translating it was fine. But I understand, given the budget, they weren't going to get a whole invasion on a beach.
Yeah, that's fine. But that him zooming around, it looked good. That was really bad. That actually took my enthusiasm for that episode and knocked it down dramatically. Also, I don't know, Luffy drinking all of the poison soup.
We also lose.
Set that up. He's got poison resistance.
It's true. We also lose pretty much any highlight fight at Arlong Park aside from Luffy and Arlong.
Although that fight is cool.
Luffy versus Arlong is cool, but It's weird that they didn't have like, Zoro versus Hachi or Sanji versus anybody except like the group of stuntmen that put on fish armor.
Cutting out Hachi's an interesting
choice.
I don't know how I feel about that. I understand why they did. Though they're never gonna get to Sabaody. If this anime gets to Sabaody, fucking wow.
It'd be amazing how they to see how they pace something like that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on. Like if you're going to have like more to talk about this.
Okay, yeah. I think it is at the top of good for live action. Do you believe in that, or do you think it's
I can see that.
Okay. All right. So what's our?
I can see it swapping with Detective Pikachu here and there, but I will leave it there as it is.
There you go, Megan. There you go.
Alrighty.
Good action. Don't care about the rest.
Very good action, and actually, yeah, we actually ended up seeing one of these in theaters.
Yeah.
I have
Choreography.
fantastic choreography.
Yeah.
Choreography, costume work, great. Those are all that I really remember from them.
Yep.
The original, the trilogy that goes through Shishio, fantastic. The other two, the prequel and the other one,
Yeah. Yeah. I just, look, they've got some really good action. I just don't care about anything else.
I would weirdly put this in actually.
I would too.
Really?
I would put it,
Putting it above One Piece.
I'd put it, let's go to the tier list real quick.
I would put it below One Piece and above Pikachu. Mostly because that action is really good.
I'd put it above Bleach,
Yeah.
but below Pikachu.
Okay. Yeah, because it's got amazing action, it's got great set and character design, but the story itself is just sort of whatever.
And that's removing the author from the equation.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I feel so bad for Howard.
Who now plays the dub voice of Kenshin Himura.
Who is the best
Great
casting.
casting. Great casting. The first time I heard that, I'm like, yes, accurate. Friend of the channel, Howard Wang, fucking great for Kenshin Himura. But goddamn, that's
talk about poison. Talk about sweet poison. Oh man.
Not a whole lot to say from it aside from amazing action.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing, phenomenal action.
Can I guess where this is gonna go?
You can guess.
Is it gonna be better than the anime?
Kind of has to, because the anime's dog
So
crap.
that is unfortunately the problem with that category.
Yeah.
This is categorically better
than the anime.
But also, what a fucking ride, yo!
Literally. It's honestly an enjoyable movie. I like it.
Yeah.
I legitimately like it. It's not gonna be in my top 100 or anything like that, but it is definitely above the bar.
Yeah. God. It's colorful, it's crazy,
it's stylish. If you can watch this on some form of intoxicant, preferably an hallucinogen, you're probably in for a very fun time.
Man,
or a very bad time, but
I highly recommend this movie to anybody who hasn't seen it and just wants a crazy wild ride. Honestly, this is like live action Redline in that way. Oh man, it's not. Now the weird thing is, in terms of a movie, it's not the best. It's not great. I'd struggle to call it good. But as a ride, as a fucking ride, it's nuts.
It's a very prototypical sort of underdog sports movie, despite the fact that Speed is constantly considered one of the best. So it's hard to call it an underdog movie.
Although I will say, so this reminds me actually a lot of Edgar Wright. Not
a little bit.
And yeah, it's like Edgar Wright at home.
Yeah, sort of like the Wachowskis have this kinetic sense of style that you see throughout the Matrix movies. That translates into this weird acid trip of a movie here. And again, it is visually stunning. It's a lot of it, oddly enough, still kind of holds up today. It doesn't all hold up, but a lot of it still does.
Yeah. Honestly, give it a watch if you haven't already. Do it with friends if you can. I don't necessarily think you have to be on a hallucinogen, but if you can.
Yeah, if you find if you find yourself in a place where that's legal, and
I don't think there is actually, but anyway, have a good time with it. Enjoy it. It's fantastic.
To all of our friends in Denmark, have a great time.
Yeah.
Now the opposite of a great time.
Why is this on here?
Because Iroh was in our anime dads list.
Iroh and Aang were in our anime dads, and the Fire Lord. I don't think Avatar's an anime personally, but just for the sake of the fact that we're never going to have this on a list anywhere else, this is the only place to put it. Let me say this. There was not a single redeeming thing about this movie. Not one. Even its set design is boring. Its character designs, its costuming is boring.
There's one thing, the penis hair.
Penis hair. No.
Find that one still.
This is bad. This is truly one of the worst movies I have ever had to subject myself to, because at nothing it does it do right. I cannot stand it. It's at the bottom of Real Life Was a Mistake.
Nope, it's above Mob Psycho. I'm sorry, I can't put anything beneath Mob Psycho. As irredeemable as so much of this movie is, there's a not necessarily a charm to its badness, but I've seen it with enough friends to appreciate some of the badness.
This movie is so bad, it was hard for me to get through the riff tracks of the movie. Mm-hmm. The riff track wasn't even enough to make this movie more interesting for me. That's how bad it is. It's so boring. It's very bad. It's very tell don't show in a movie. Its acting is insanely awful. I don't understand what the direction was.
I'll say maybe okay. Fine, it can go below Mob if only because it had a way higher budget and less of an excuse to be as bad as it is.
Oh yeah, the amount of effort versus what we got is so much. Oh my God.
I will say I would rather watch The Last Airbender again than subject myself to more Mob Psycho live action though. I will stand here and say that. Gun to my head, if you made me choose, I would choose.
All right.
That is that. And now, the most recent on our list.
The reason this list exists, if I'm going to be honest, this came out and we.
Well, honestly, the One Piece is the reason this list exists.
You know what,
but then
fair.
the reason this list came out when it did is because YuYu Hakusho was coming out 2 months later.
Yeah. So the YuYu Hakusho.
YuYu Hakusho. Oh man. What a fucking mixed bag this turned out to be.
Yeah, and mixed is really the term to use for it because those first two episodes
are amazing.
Yeah.
I loved the first 2 episodes.
You know what? Okay, I want to talk about, you know what my favorite part of that Oni fight was with Goki?
I can go into my own diatribe of why I love it, but you tell me yours.
I love the fact that they give Yusuke a fighting style. Mm-hmm. He fights like somebody who grew up on the street. He uses wrestling moves. He grapples. He uses the environment. In that fight, I really get a feel for Yusuke's character. And that's awesome. That's fucking great.
I'm gonna say 2 words. Jackie Chan. All of his fight scenes, especially early on, remind me of those early to like mid 90s, late 80s to early 90s Jackie Chan movies, where he's always on the defensive, he's always using the environment, it's all improvisational, he's on the back foot, and it makes the fight way more interesting.
Yeah.
All of the fights are shot in such a way that they're incredibly enjoyable, they're interestingly shot. They use the environments around them, and while you know Yusuke is gonna come out on top, it's always fun watching him get there, especially even against the fucking like Makai insect zombie dude. It turns into like the fucking parasites shit. Like I fucking loved that.
The first episode deciding that it was going to use a lot of the horror elements that were more unspoken in the original manga and anime was
brilliant.
Actually inspired. If you want to like take your source material and highlight a certain part of it and really lean into it, that can be really cool. And what they do in those first 2 episodes is they highlight 2 things with amazing effect: the horror and like gore elements, and Yusuke's fighting style and who he is as a character. Absolutely great. I can't believe how good that Oni fight is going to be, like a highlight for using a CG character too. The fact that the Oni is CG all the way through.
The fact that they chose to do it in a junkyard too, with all of like that space, the stunt coordinator, I want to meet that person and shake their damn hand.
I want to, the people working the camera.
Yeah.
The camera work.
It's beautiful.
Because
like, you want to talk about Edgar Wright? Let's talk about the scene Kuwabara gets introduced.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
The fucking drop kick. I still, like, when I think about the drop kick, I still laugh.
Can we talk about okay, so anybody who knows Yu Yu Hakusho has seen Yusuke get hit by a car.
Yeah.
This-
oh my God, that's some Final Destination shit.
Yeah, this wasn't getting hit by a car. This was getting run over and mangled.
The fucking zombie, like the fucking dude's driving down the street listening to Smile Bomb, which I thought, beautiful.
Yeah, Smile Bomb on the radio, A+ choice.
You can tell that the people who made this loved Yu Yu Hakusho.
And yet the music sucks.
You can tell where parts of the budget went and where it didn't.
Yeah.
Namely in the fact that, I'm sitting here, I'm saying all of these wonderful, wonderful things. If you want to hear me ramble on about it for 20 minutes, I actually posted a review on my channel specifically about this.
Yeah, those first 2 episodes.
Fucking great. If it had stayed the way it was, it would be immaculate.
If I can say anything about those first 2 episodes that did bother me, before we get into the stuff that's wait, why with the pacifier in Koenma? If you're not going to have him be a baby, it makes no sense. There's even when he was an adult, he still had the pacifier. But there's an explanation behind it, and it's never given in the show. So having it be a part of his character, honestly, felt stupid. I'm gonna be honest.
It felt like it was just there as kind of a gag, and it's an easy thing for me to whatever.
Also, Botan's sort of hit or miss.
She is for a very specific reason, because they had to combine her character with the ogre. She's not allowed to be as involved.
Oh, you're right. She ultimately ends up, so she has to be a little less put together, because Botan in the anime is a little aloof.
She's fun.
But she's not as
But in this, she had to be more clerical because she is...
And bumbling. And a little more bumbling.
Yeah. Because she's like the underling of Koenma in this, because they didn't give him a cadre of ogres.
You're right. But that's still like...
It's a bad.
And mostly I'm talking about this not from an adaptational standpoint, by the way. I think adaptationally, some of the character changes do work. Though I will say, unfortunately for Yusuke, throughout the entire thing, he's too stoic.
He is.
And like, how is he a bad boy? He smokes and he beats up bullies.
Yeah, his best attributes are shown in the first episode, but he's already too much of a good guy.
Yeah, he's way too much of a good guy.
They lost a lot of the Togashi edge.
Yeah.
In a lot of the characters, honestly. And
Hiei comes out of this so boring. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, because since this is only 5 episodes long, you're not able to get the character development that you need for so many of these characters.
Honestly, you kind of end up with later stage versions of these characters from beginning to end.
Yeah, you don't get their character growth moments.
Yeah, and that's truly disappointing, especially for both Yusuke and Kuwabara.
Kuwabara, I think, got treated...
the worst?
Genkai got treated the worst.
Okay, yeah, Genkai gets treated the worst.
But Kuwabara is an unfortunate case where Kuwabara is the ultimate underdog of Yu Yu Hakusho. Mm-hmm. He is always struggling, and when he comes out on top, it's like a fuck yeah kind of moment. Kuwabara is the protagonist Yu Yu Hakusho deserves, but Yusuke is the protagonist that it has.
Hey, Yusuke's good.
Oh, Yusuke's great. I love Yusuke. But I adore Kuwabara.
Yeah. No.
And unfortunately, due to the fact that they condense so much, you lose all of Kuwabara's early victories that make him actually seem like a good character.
Early victories.
You lose all of his victories.
Yeah, no. As somebody who finally watched all of it, beginning to end, over the last couple of days, Kuwabara loses every single fight. And that sucks.
What really bothered me is they had the chance to do some things where they could have combined a few things. I'll cut to the chase. The fact that they combined Rescue Yukino with the Dark Tournament, mistake. And that feels like executive meddling. It feels like it.
That definitely feels like they were planning on the entire thing being Rescue Yukina, and then somebody came in and said, we need Team Toguro. Which, really insanely disappointing. I cannot tell you.
That was exactly what I was fearing when I first saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, I can see Karasu, I can see Bui. I hope they're just teasing them to show up later, but no. They do the whole Team Urameshi versus Team Toguro thing.
Look, they were never going to do the Dark Tournament. You cannot
You
do
can't.
the live.
I know, but a boy could dream.
Yeah, but just because you can't do live action Dark Tournament
Doesn't mean that's the way you do it.
doesn't mean you give Yusuke the Spirit Wave after 20 days of training and then kill off Genkai in the same
Immediately.
episode you introduce her and then make me try and care about when she and Toguro have their meeting in the afterlife. What the fuck?
Spoilers. By the way, kind of impossible to talk about this without the spoilers in terms of where its placement's going to be. But that's like the biggest shame, because you get through these first 2 episodes, which I think cover the first 7 episodes of the anime better than the anime.
In some ways, those first 2 episodes are fascinating ways to adapt the source material.
The scene with Keiko and Atsuko at Yusuke's wake, I felt that shit. That was beautiful.
Although I really, really don't like Keiko and Yusuke's meeting at the ramen place before he dies. That was bad. Keiko.
A little much, but honestly, I don't think it was too off base, because she's always like, even in the anime, she's like, you jerk, you asshole, you need to straight up fly right. I didn't feel like that was super out of character.
But the fucking like go die.
Yeah,
just
go
felt
die
really
was it's a bit on the nose.
Yeah, it's super on the nose.
But I understand why they did it. There are so many things that I looked at this, and I say this a lot in my review. I understand why this happened, but because they did it, it turned out worse.
Yeah, and the frustrating thing is, like I've said before, changes are not bad. The fact that I had so many wonderful things to say about the changes made to live action One Piece should go to show I can deal with changes. But when the changes make for a worse story that completely missed the mark of their original meaning, I can't abide it. I can't, like the last 3 episodes, like it really all starts going wrong in that 3rd episode, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's like when I said this in the review video I posted, once the 3rd episode rolls around and you start to see what's happening, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and look, if they had just gone to the end of the Rescue Yukina arc,
fine.
It might have been okay.
You know what would have been great? If, here's one way that, like, in my brain, you could have maybe fixed it a little. You could have done the Rescue Yukina bit and pulled the Saint Beasts in. Like, have, like, them be the ones that Sakio was talking to. Have him open up the thing wide enough and he pulls them through, or maybe just some of them. So that's who you got Kuwabara, Kurama, and Hiei against, and then you got, like, the Toguro brothers just there as security, and then you can have that Yusuke and Kuwabara versus the Toguro brothers thing at the end, setting up for a potential sequel.
Maybe. Personally, I think the Toguro brothers, I'm here or there on. Like, in terms of them being involved in that plot. Using the Saint Beasts and Sakio promising them parts of the planet if they win.
Like, hey, yeah, I'll give you some stuff here. I just want a way into the demon world. You want a way into my world. Let's work together.
And what if he uses that last part? It's like goes to the demon world, and then they've got to follow him afterwards because it's like we got to go after this guy. Like that could have been so good. You could have set up for a 2nd season where they have to go to the demon world.
Instead, they set up for I guess Chapter Black.
Yeah. Guess we got Chapter Black now, which is not gonna work nearly as well.
I don't think it's happening.
Who knows?
Probably
I don't know.
not. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think the reception has been great. I would still give this show, just due for like how good its action is, I would still give it a B.
So good for live action?
I would still say good for live action. Not as high as Bleach. Not as high as it's well below the Bleach threshold.
Yeah, those last 3 episodes. If
it weren't for the last 3 episodes, this would be actually great.
Yeah, those first 2 episodes would put it in actually great for me. No.
If it had stayed that, it might have been above Alita.
Yeah.
Like if it had stayed the course, and I mean, I know what I'm doing is fan fixing, but if it had done like that Saint Beast thing I'm talking about, I think that would have been a neat twist on it. You could have set up for, more powerful demons coming through, i.e. Karasu and Bui showing up.
Yeah.
Maybe even some more of the teams from the Dark Tournament. You don't necessarily have to have the Dark Tournament, but you can have it in spirit.
Yeah, but no.
But no.
No, you don't get that now.
It's very easy to be an armchair quarterback the day after, but
it definitely this feels like it was supposed to be 8 episodes, got pushed down to 5, and they were forced to use the Toguro brothers as the final villains.
Yeah, but how did you feel about CG Elder Toguro? I thought he was uncanny enough to be creepy and actually kind of cool.
Elder Toguro is the best character in the entire show.
Isn't he so fucking cool?
He's the best. He is having so much fun.
I loved like when Kuwabara was like slice and mash. Okay, back up we go. I love that shit. Kuwabara versus him, great. I wish it had the payoff.
The animators probably hated / loved working on him because he's doing crazy weird shit.
All the time.
He's going nuts. I loved that little bastard.
He looks like a little weasel. Like he looks like if you mini-me'd Paul Rubin.
I don't know why they made him like that.
I don't know either, but it looks great.
He's not supposed to be that small. He's just supposed to be small in like comparison to his brother. But I guess somebody was like, no, we're gonna make him.
But remember, they still had to cast Toguro, and they're not like.
I will say this: the casting for Toguro was
great.
Yeah, I actually like the casting for both the Toguro brothers, and I kind of like him until he goes to his final form.
The problem, big problem with his final form. They hit the unfortunate middle ground. They either needed to make him like, just be a big buff dude or make him look like a fucking tree.
Here's the weird part. His final form is actually not the final form from the anime manga.
It's not. That's his 80% form in the manga.
It's like
in his high, like again, his 100% form in the anime, he's a fucking tree.
Yeah, which honestly, like even the his 100%, like there's the two versions of the 100%. Here's 100% where he's got the wide shoulders,
big like fucking shoulder pads,
but his,
and then the ones where he has like the spikes and like his skin is like looking like old wood.
But then he goes 100 of 100%, and then his whole face kind of morphs and like everything gets wild. They don't even use those. They kind of use like the earlier, like
his 80% form.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. Like, I don't know why they did that.
It's the more recognizable of his forms.
Yeah,
and probably the more manageable. But again, unfortunately with the CGI, it sits in that uncanny valley where it looks too fake to look cool and too stupid to, like, it's not stupid enough to be funny.
You know what he looks like?
Huh.
He looks like a creature from one of the CG Resident Evil movies.
Oh my God, he does.
Yeah, that's what he looks like. He looks like he's supposed to be one of the final villain of one of those live action Resident Evil CG movies. You know the one where fucking Leon's doing
like Death Island and shit like that.
Yeah, doing the fucking gun fu, taking out 1 million zombies and look like a total badass. Oh yeah, no.
I would still personally put it at good for live action, if only because it does so many things. So like the action is so good. I go back and I rewatch those action scenes.
So the CG was a little wonky, but that one take with Kurama versus Karase was sick.
And
the fight with, oh my God, that Bleach fight with Hiei. I was like, okay, how are you gonna make that axe work in live action?
They did. They fucking did it.
Holy shit, he's swinging that bitch around. He is like,
and I'm believing it.
Yeah.
I love like what they did with Spirit World. I love that transition and like how it just looks like a world of floating candles and shit.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful.
The first time we see the Spirit World, it's gorgeous. It genuinely just looks better than some Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna be honest. There are times where this just looks better than a lot of modern Marvel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, part of that has to do with the fact that Japanese studios overwork their special effects people even worse than the MCU does. So hey, keep that in mind next time you're talking about how much you love Godzilla -1. There's a reason the budget's so low and it's not good.
Yeah, but I gotta give it respect for what it does and just really hate what it did wrong.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna put it above Bleach. Just because it does some remarkable stuff with those first 2 episodes. And honestly...
It does, but I feel like the latter episodes pull it back down so hard.
Oh, can we also talk about the fact that, I'm sorry, in terms of costume design, they nail Yusuke and Kuwabara, but they...
Kurama's wig.
Kurama's wig is so bad, and I'm sorry, Hiei looks dumb. Unfortunately, Hiei suffers the most.
He does.
He has a really cool fight, but his character is neutered so badly because they can't make him the actual bastard that he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really unfortunate because he needs to be kind of shittier, and also the hair. That foof. No, I don't like it.
That said, like when it came to like wigs and design, I liked Yukina. I liked her a lot.
Yukina's fine.
Yeah, and I actually bought Kuwabara's. Like the moment he first sees her, I'm like, that's good. That's a good scene.
Kuwabara. Okay, so while Kuwabara gets totally shafted,
He's still the best character in the show.
best character in the show, both shows. His redesign, I love it. Yo, if you're not gonna do the one,
he was the one character I was wondering about when I popped it on. I'm like, how are you gonna do Kuwabara? And as soon as he popped on screen, he got J-pop playing in the background. I'm like, that's how you do it. That's him.
because here's the thing. Kuwabara's entire character is supposed to be that he is a punk, a Japanese delinquent punk. And the pompadour originally represented that, but that's not modern Japanese punks, so they gave him the mohawk. And yeah, I love it. It's good. It's a good look.
The bleached mohawk where he's got it like going back. He's fantastic. If they had given him his uppances, then he would have been amazing.
I think he actually should have beaten Elder Toguro.
I think they just should have given him and Yusuke the spirit gun stabbing Toguro moment.
Well, if they'd gone the route of the Saint Beast, we would probably have a very different story. Although then,
hit me up, Netflix. I do writing.
Unfortunately, then we would have had the Phoenix guy, and he sucks.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I think you can do it with Genbu, Byako, and Seiryu. I don't think like.
Well, okay, they could have also made him not suck, though.
They could have made him not suck.
They could have made him not suck. That, you know,
and
to be fair.
Suzaku, by the way.
Suzaku, yeah, sorry. Yeah, they could have done Suzaku and made him not suck. But yeah, who knows? Honestly,
good for live action. I personally would put it below Bleach. Personally, just because while the first 2 episodes are fucking amazing and the action is great, it really gets pulled back in ways that Bleach doesn't.
Bleach is a movie. And it's
better paced somehow.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's a movie.
Well, yeah, but like YuYu Hakusho also feels like a really long movie.
Well, kind of. I don't know. I would put it above Bleach, but I don't know. Then again, I don't know if I'd put Rurouni Kenshin above Bleach. That I don't know. Put it wherever you want. For me, it's so disappointing. It's really
all right. Let's reorganize. Put Bleach above Rurouni Kenshin, YuYu Hakusho above Bleach, or above Rurouni Kenshin as well.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
I think that's
fine,
fair.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Sure. Honestly, I would have. I probably would have put Bleach a little lower, just because I think it's just fine.
Look, man, if you really feel that way, all you got to do is drink all your milk.
All your milk.
You got to drink more of your milk. But how about you? In the audience, what you think? You think this is good? I can easily see a number of people saying YuYu Hakusho should be in bad. I understand. I really do, but I disagree.
Yeah, I think those first 2 episodes do enough, and I even think those last 3 episodes
have enough in them.
Have enough in them to keep them out of bad. But what do y'all think? If y'all disagree, please do get down in the comments and tell us. If you agree, please do talk to us down in the comments. If you just saw this video and wondering who we are and why we're talking about this, please get down in the comments.
Yeah, how many of you out there are as fucked up as me and like watch Ichi the Killer? Come on, I know there are a few of us out there.
But yeah, hey, thank y'all so much for joining us for
another video where we rank things categorically.
I do love these though, honestly. Well, y'all have a wonderful one. Take care. And we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.